got ghosted by someone who I was dating for 6 months. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's been a long time since I've uploaded a video. Yeah, the last video that I uploaded was last year. Oops. We're almost in September and I haven't made anything. I thought today I would just kind of explain my absence. Guys, I'm dying. No, it's nothing that serious. It's just kind of like weird. I'm making myself a cup of coffee right now because like I feel like you need it. Yeah, I thought I would just explain where I've been for the past couple of months, why I've been absent, what have you. For the past couple of months I have been trying to like ease myself back into making videos, but every time I get to like the editing stage I just hate it and I don't like it. Every time that I've tried to record a video I've started it with like, oh, sorry about me being gone for ages, and I'm like, well, I hate that. I don't want to just like have a video just to like upload it after 8 months and say in like 30 seconds like, oh, I've been gone. I figured I should just start with a video explaining why I've been gone, what I did, what happened, so in that way like this video can stand alone, and then like any sort of video that I make after this, it can just be its own video without me just having to make like an apology. Even though I don't have to apologize, but I just feel like it's cathartic or whatever for me to get it off my chest. Here's like a little kettle. Wow. So where do I begin? One of the last videos that I uploaded last year was like, oh, you're breaking up with, oh my god. And I guess one of the other reasons why I was gone for so long is that I got into another relationship and we broke up again. 2 breakups in like 12 months. I feel like I feel weird about it, even though I feel like there are 14-year-olds who go through like 2 breakups in a week and they're completely fine about it. But like me in my adult life, like 2 breakups in a year, that's like crazy. I don't want to say that I was in like an abusive or manipulative relationship, but it definitely felt like it was like manipulated in their favor, and the way that they broke up with me was like weird, and like it was in their favor, kind of, not really, I don't know. When I started dating this person, it felt like cool or whatever. We moved like really fast in this relationship. Like it felt like I was like falling in love like really soon. That's on me. That's my dumb ass being like, wow, we're in love. Realistically, maybe we weren't in love. Maybe I was just super horny. What? I feel like throughout this relationship, maybe there were red flags, definitely, but you know what they say, when you wear rose-colored glasses, all of the red flags just look like flags. Let's go through some of the red flags. What were some of the red flags? I feel like, okay, when I tell this to people, people are like, whoa, you judged a bullet. But like, I don't see this as a red flag, but like they had a child already with like their past partner. So like, I don't really care that much because like, he was a bit of a deadbeat dad. So like he wasn't really in the child, or like recently he wasn't really in the child's life, so I didn't have to meet the child. I'm not saying that I didn't want to. I definitely would have wanted to like hang out with them and like, I don't know, do fun things that you can do with a child. That's not to say that I wouldn't have wanted to hang out with a child, it's just that I never got a chance to. Like, you know, I was like, oh hey, why don't we just go to the fucking zoo and like we take him with us? Like if we're going to an aquarium as 2 adults, why don't we take your child with us? It's not like I didn't try, it just wasn't available to me, and I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. If that's gonna be the case, I don't care. I care a little bit. Another red flag, he was an aspiring SoundCloud rapper, which should have been like the biggest red flag, because if anything, if someone's aspiring to be a SoundCloud rapper, it shouldn't be an aspiration. SoundCloud is like one of the platforms with like the lowest barrier to entry. All you have to do is just record something and then you upload it and then you're a SoundCloud rapper. But to aspire to it, like to not have sat down and recorded anything to then upload, like considering that you can get GarageBand on like an iPhone and you can like upload that, it's weird that you're aspiring to be it, you know? Those are probably like the 2 biggest like red flags and stuff that I should have been like, maybe this person like isn't my soulmate. Maybe they just like have a really nice wiener. I guess like as the relationship went on, other things like started coming to light. Like his mum was like super weird. She like kept commenting on like my Facebook posts and just like commenting to herself, and she just wouldn't stop, so I had to like end up blocking her, and that was kind of weird. Like I've never had to do that with anyone, like any of my past boyfriends. Like none of their family members have been like outwardly aggressive or like weird to me before even meeting me. Parents like me, I will say that, okay? I am a likable person. I'm likable. I'm weird and I'm charismatic, but I'm pretty enough and I'm charismatic enough for me to like get away with it. And like I've been taught enough manners to be like, oh, do you guys need help with the dishes? And then parents love me, okay? So for her to like not like me, it's like a personal attack. Because I'm likable. I'm likable and you'll like me. So like as the relationship went on, since his mum was like super weird, he ended up moving in with me and my family. After like 2 months of us dating, he started living with me. And living, maybe crashing is like the best sort of descriptor of it. He ended up bringing over like 2 gym bags worth of his stuff, and it's kind of sad because like his whole life, well, like everything that he owned in his life just fit into 2 gym bags. But yeah, he ended up living with me, and we got thrown into a situation where we had to live with each other and kind of coexist within my bedroom. I cleared out a drawer for him so that he could have like all of his clothes, and I like folded his clothes up really nice. I folded up his clothes nicer than I fold my own clothes. What the hell? It was a straining time because like it was stressful. I didn't have my own space. I felt, I don't know, trapped and cornered into like a kind of like a situation that I didn't really want to be in. Like this is when I say that it was manipulated in his favor. I couldn't just be like mad at him and like still be in the same room as him, or like I felt like I couldn't, if stuff went bad, I couldn't like break up with him because he would have just been like homeless. And like my little empathetic generous heart is like, no one can be on the streets, especially if it's like my fault. Like he would make it feel like I was, I don't know, irrational. He would go out and it's like I don't care if people go out, or like if people that I'm dating go out with their friends. I don't care. I just you know would have preferred one, an invite. Like I just want to be that like over your shoulder, like making sure that you're not getting up into any like bad business. In my last relationship, I never said like you can't go anywhere or like you can't do certain things. It's just send me a message saying, oh hey, I'm going to this sort of place, or oh hey, I'm going to friggin' have bevies with the boys after work. Just, you know, let me know what's up, so that if I send you like 30 messages, I know why you're not responding. That was an issue like in our relationship. I would like ask for him to send me messages like if his plans had changed or anything like that, or like where he was going, and maybe he thought that it was like a possessive, like controlling thing, but it's just from a standpoint of like, well, we live together, I want to know what time you're coming home, like if I should leave the lights on for you, like what, it's that sort of stuff. But like he had an issue with it and he didn't ever want to do it. That sort of, you know, went on. That ended up being like the catalyst, I guess, to like our last and final fight. But I'm not finished talking about like other shitty things that happened within the relationship. I don't know, he didn't really respect my space. Like I found it hard to make videos because I personally prefer making videos like in the morning, or like I prefer getting like any of my daily tasks done in the morning. I feel like if I haven't done any of the chores that I was supposed to do by 12, like the whole day is a wreck. When I do make videos, I would get up at like 8 or whatever. I would do my makeup, and that takes like 7 hours, and then we're like taken up to friggin' 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and then that's when I start filming. Like that's just my personal preference of like my personal working schedule, just like getting stuff done in the morning so that it gives me a greater sense of accomplishment and a greater sense of productivity and stuff like that. And then when you have like one role of productivity, you're able to go on with like a whole bunch of other chores. But because he was living with me, he would stay up until like 2 a.m. and then not wake up the next day until like 1 p.m. So it made it difficult for me to sit down on my bed and have like studio lights pointed at me and like talk really loud in like an animated way, because like I don't want to fucking disturb someone else or like wake someone else up. That was like one of the reasons why I wasn't making videos, because like I just couldn't find the time or the space for me to make videos while he was there. And I feel self-conscious when I edit my videos back, because people just see me stuttering along with myself or like talking to myself. And like making YouTube videos is a very abstract concept. Like you're talking to a camera alone. I'm definitely a different kind of animated when I'm talking to a camera than I am when I'm talking with my friends, because when I'm talking with my friends I'm being me friends, not saying that I'm not being myself, but I'm being like a different facet of myself in front of the camera. So I don't want someone else to be over my shoulder watching me edit a video, because it just feels awkward and uncomfortable. Like I don't want them to think that I'm fake or anything like that, but I digress. And then like him staying up until like 2 a.m. playing fucking Fortnite. I'm glad I've never had to play that game ever again, or like listen about that game ever again. I don't have to care about that game forever. He would like play games until like 2 a.m. and like the sound of a controller going, it just kept waking me up in the middle of the night. And be like, baby, can you come to bed please? It's just like waking me up. And he'd be like, just one more game. And then I would wake up again like 2 hours later. I'm like, you're still fucking playing one more game, my fucking asshole. That was like another thing that was stressful and annoying. And I'm probably not covering everything. I'm just going off the cuff, off the top of my brain, off the top of my dome. The catalyst to like what broke us up. Like I said, I prefer in a relationship just getting like a heads up text being like, oh hey, I'm going to this after blah 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 and my plans have changed and I'll see you later, or I'll talk to you whenever, or I'm busy at work and I'm doing blah blah blah, so I'll text you when I can, blah blah blah, whatever. I just prefer that. I also don't think that that's an absurd thing to want in a relationship. I guess if anything, this relationship has made me feel like my last relationship is like the pinnacle of relationship success, because in that one I didn't have to beg for like common decency, and I didn't have to beg to like be cared for or anything like that. But in this one I had to. It was weird. Oh, another thing, I'll get to the fact that broke us up, but another thing that was like really fucking weird in relation to like my last relationship and this one, the dude from my last relationship that I made my video about, like we break up and I was like crying on the floor, blah blah blah. He sent me a message one time and was like, oh hey, do you have my jumpers? Can I have them back please? And since I have no animosity towards him, I was like, sure, come over and pick them up. I don't need your jumpers anymore because they're yours, and I did that weird girlfriend thing of just like taking all your clothes. So since we're not dating anymore, you should have them back. We're getting into winter. You're probably gonna be super cold. And he came over and it was fine. We had like a nice little conversation, catching up. But then it was fucking weird because like current boyfriend was like living here, and he like stood in the doorway just like a friggin', I don't know, like he just like kind of stood in the doorway like overseeing like our conversation. And then he like had a whinge later on like, he seems like such a nice guy, and like why would you want a nice guy over me? Because they're nice, probably. If you can understand that like you're a shit person, why don't you improve? This video is all over the place, I'm really sorry. So the fight that broke us up. So timeline, he went out on a Wednesday night, completely fine. There were some contributing stress factors to that. My camera overheated and I was on a roll with my thoughts. So he went out on a Wednesday night, and this was an issue for me just because of the fact that he hadn't worked all of the other nights leading up to that Wednesday night that week. So in my mind, if he's going out on Wednesday night, he won't be able to work on the Thursday night because he'll be out still, and then the only possible night that he'd be able to work would be the Friday. So I'm like, oh, I'm stressed out about money. I'm just a little minimum wage worker working part-time. How can I afford your desire for 3 bags of $5 Doritos every night? And I was like, cool. I called him on the Thursday morning and I was like, hey, how are you? Are you still alive? Not like that, but like, hey, just say how you are. Do you have work tonight? And he's like, no, but I'll be home tonight. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I called him later on in the day, probably like 3 p.m. in the afternoon, because I was at Parramatta Station with my friend Rachel, and I had seen a man shit his pants. There was shit all down his leg, all the way down his leg. It was like caked on his foot. It looked like he had like rolled his ankle in mud, like the amount of shit that was just like all down his leg. So I called him up because I'm like, this is hilarious. I need to tell him about the man who shit himself. It was gross, and I was like thankful that that man wasn't getting on my train. Like, I had so many things that I had to say about this man who had shit his pants. So I gave him a call and he didn't answer, and I was like, okay, cool. Earlier he told me that he was going to be like on his way home, so he's probably home already, and he's like sleeping. So I call him again. He didn't answer again. I'm like, wow, he's a heavy sleeper. Because in my mind, he had said that he was going to be on his way home, so I was like, okay, cool, he's going to be on his way home, or he's going to be home already, because of like the timeline. He didn't tell me that he's going to stay out or anything like that. This is where it's like a bad thing on my part. Fast forward to like 30 calls later, because again, I thought he was asleep. And then if it takes you like 30 times to wake up after like 30 phone calls, it's funny. You can be like, haha, what? I was asleep and I slept through 30 phone calls. Ha ha ha. We can all laugh about it in the end because it's funny. But no, he ended up like messaging me back and being like, what the fuck is up? Why are you blowing up my phone? I know that he said like, I know that I said that I would be home earlier, but something else came up, and I know that I should have told you. Like, he acknowledged that he should have told me. I know that I should have told you, but if you just shut the fuck up, I can take you on a date tomorrow. I'm like, I don't want to go on a date tomorrow. I want to be kept in the know, like a freaking girlfriend. I just wanted to be like kept in the know, like you would with someone who you consider a partner, whatever. I was like still pissed. And I just kept calling him because I'm like, fucking tell me this on the phone, don't send me a message. And then he ended up blocking my phone number. And I was like, okay, cool. I've seen him do this to other people before. I've seen him do this like to his mom and like his ex that he has a baby with. Like, just seeing him like block numbers and then like turn off his data so that he's like unreachable. That's another red flag that I should have been like, oh, yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool, he's blocked my phone number. I get home that night, this is like the Thursday night, and I see that he was blocked me on Instagram as well. So I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I later come to find that he, just blocked me on everything. Just like, I don't know, wasn't gonna like reply to any of my messages or like confront me about anything. So he just like, I got ghosted by someone who I was dating for 6 months. Someone who lived with, I got ghosted by someone who lived with me. It's absurd to say out loud because it's like, who does that to someone? Like, he essentially just like was like, oh, I have all my clothes at her house, cool, I'm just gonna leave it there. I had to like message his dad to like see what the fuck is up, and like I basically got broken up with through his dad. So I'm like, and that's why I say that it wasn't particularly abusive or manipulative. It just felt manipulated in his favor. Like, the breakup was manipulated in his favor. He broke up with me without telling me that we were broken up. So like, technically, like, I still have a boyfriend. Like, I'm not single. Like, he doesn't want to like talk to me or anything, but like, I still have a boyfriend. So it's just been weird. It's just been a really weird time of like being abandoned. Like, I don't know how else to like say it. Like, I don't know how else to describe the feeling of just someone being in your life and then like just leaving without consulting and being like, oh, by the way, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, what? I've had times when I've been on like 3 dates with someone and then I've sent them a message being like, I don't like where this is going, so like I don't think we should like see each other anymore. Even though like in this weird sort of like Tinder ghosting dating economy, people are like so used to ghosting, they probably thought I was weird for like sending them a message about it, but I was just like, I feel like it's common decency, and to not receive like, oh, I feel like I'm yelling, to like not receive like decency in that sort of way, to not be broken up with properly and not receive like the closure of like being like, oh, it's not you, it's me. Even if that's a lie, even if it was me and it wasn't you, you're just telling me a lie to make me feel better, then like, so be it. I have like no way of being like, oh, I did XYZ wrong or anything like that, because I haven't been told if I did anything wrong. And then at the same time, it's like, did I do anything wrong? And then at the same time, it's like, did I do anything wrong in this situation? Like, did I do anything wrong in this whole relationship? Probably, but it's not like I can learn or grow from it. Or like, it's not like I can grow. Ew, I feel like I'm gonna cry. Like, it doesn't feel like a situation I can learn from my mistakes from, because I don't know if I made any mistakes. The situation has been really weird and like emotionally taxing for like the past, you know, 6 months of the relationship, and then like this consequencing month after, when I've been trying to get used to it and move on with it, and it's just been weird. I don't know how to not cry. Laura Lee, eat your fucking heart out. This is how you do it, bitch. I think if anything, this is weird. Like, this situation has taught me that like I have so much love around me. Like, I have so many people who are caring for me and like who, I don't know, love and support me. So moral of the story, no dick is worth it. Just find comfort in your friends, and I don't know, just like yeah, I don't know if there's a moral to the story. I just needed to get it off my chest and be like, this is why I haven't been making videos for the past however many months. I was in a weird relationship, it was a weird breakup, and I want to start making videos again. So many people have told me, like, not to brag or anything, but like so many people have been like, oh my god, I miss your videos, I wish you like made videos more. And I've always been like, I want to start making videos again, but like I just felt like this situation needed to have an explanation. I needed to have like this sort of cathartic release of like saying what happened before I can just jump right into making videos again, because just jumping into it would have felt like so like unnatural and not normal to me. I would have felt like I had like a big old weight on my chest of like something that was in me, but now it's out of me. So cathart. Ah! Look it. It's freaking tears. I love Halloween. I think maybe that's where I should end the video. I don't know. I don't know how to end this video. I kind of want to just keep on talking. Like, who wants to see me do a podcast where it's just like by myself? Because I would love that. I would love just a podcast by myself. That's what happened to me. That's why I haven't been making videos. But heck, I got my life out there. Please be gentle. If you guys have any questions, comments, if you have any criticisms about how I've handled this situation, please leave them down in the comments below. If you have any insults, leave them in the comments below. I'm definitely emotionally prepared to handle them, so give them a crack. I can't finish this video and say like and subscribe, but I just did, bitch.